she will be missed at this month's Worlds in Doha. McFadden's focus instead is on completing that marathon Grand Slam and on Rio 2016, and today's race in Chicago doubled as the USA's Paralympic marathon trial. McFadden's place is now guaranteed, as is that of this year's London Marathon winner Josh George. He was the first American home in the men's race. George was third. Victory went to Australia's Kurt Fearnley.
Ed Harry, thank you very much, our athletics reporter. We are live in Cardiff at the Rugby World Cup. You might have heard the chants of ole, ole, ole in the background there through Ed as the Irish fans stream out of the Millennium Stadium, happy and delighted after their win over France. Well, next to golf, where the United States beat the international team 15.5 to 14.5 to win the President's Cup for the 6th time in a row and 9th time in 11 contests. The US held a 1-point lead going into the final day's 12 singles matches and maintained that advantage at the Jack Nicklaus Club in Incheon in South Korea. Let's speak to Golf Digest's Jaime Diaz. Jaime, what a dramatic day this was. One of the best President's Cups so far.
Absolutely. I think it probably only takes a backseat to the 2003 event in South Africa that ended in a tie and with a sudden death playoff between Ernie Els and Tiger Woods. But other than that, this was the best day probably of President's Cup history.
And I heard that Bill Haas had some fatherly encouragement to help his side win.
Well, yes, Bill Haas was under the pressure of not only being a captain's pick, but his father being the captain. And then, because of circumstances that were sort of spontaneous, he ended up being the last match. And then, although it didn't appear that it would come down to the last match, it did. And so all the pressure was on Bill Haas, and he played very well for a guy who had not won in the President's Cup yet in this event. And so he really came through against a hometown, or say a Korean native, San Moon Bae, and the crowd was against him, and Bill really had to come up probably with the best pressure golf of his life, and I think he did.
Do you think with it being so exciting that the awareness of the competition has increased?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the President's Cup desperately needed a very competitive match, an exciting match, an emotional match. The internationals felt a lot of urgency that we have got to be competitive because otherwise people are going to lose interest in this event, and frankly, the players may stop wanting to play. So there was a lot on the line, not just in terms of winning, but also putting on a good show. And that's what happened today. And I think everyone is very relieved that going forward, there's some eagerness now about the President's Cup on par or close to it with the Ryder Cup.
Who was the player of the competition then for you?
I think Brandon Grace of the internationals. He went 5-0, the first international ever to go 5-0 since Shigeki Matsuyama back in 1998. He paired beautifully with his countryman Louis Oosthuizen, and then he won his match today, coming down the stretch. And for the Americans, I think Zach Johnson was excellent, and he won a big match today against the best player on the international team, Jason Day. And you know, Zach won at the British Open against Jason also, who finished fourth that day. So Zach's an underdog who actually plays bigger at big moments.
And finally, for many of the players, they will continue their regular season. However, for Bai Sang Moon, he has to serve his country.
Yes, he does. He has mandatory military commitment that I know he was opposed to, but he's obviously conforming without any argument. But you know, it was a very sad moment when he didn't win or tie the last hole because that cost a tie for the internationals, and now he won't be able to play golf professionally probably for at least a year because he's going to be in the military. So it was bittersweet. He handled it with a lot of poise, but it's sort of sad because he's a player in his prime. He's 29 years old. Really loves playing professional golf and on the PGA Tour, and unfortunately his country requires conscription and he's going to have to conform.
Jaime Diaz from Golf Digest, thank you very much for joining us on Sports World. We're speaking golf and we are here in Cardiff, the capital of Wales. And one very, very good golfer is an Irish rugby fan, Rory McIlroy. And he walked right by us as we were just on air in a tape earlier in the first hour. I didn't quite get the chance to nab him for a quick chat. I'm sure he is celebrating this win for Ireland. And I'm sure he will be looking on with interest as well at a good win from Matthew